What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 932 of FloWrestling Radio Live. Maybe Ferrari Radio Live today. I don't know. Joined today by John Kozak, Ben Askren, and Dugout Shane Sparks. Reporting live from the bleachers, from the dugouts of Big Ten baseball. He has betrayed us. He has turned his back on Wrestling Nation for his true love. The nation's pastime, baseball. Shane, how are you? Buttoned all the way to the top.
What was that?
You buttoned it all the way to the top today.
Christian, I got it. You crack me up because you notice. It's funny you bring that up. If I never button this button up. Oh. But I did today because if you don't, it just doesn't sit the best. But I never button that top button ever. Only reason I did today is because I'm like, it doesn't look right. So we're going to go right back. And you never wear a T-shirt. The other thing, too, is you only wear a V-neck T-shirt if you have some. The fashion today, for me, you'll never see it this bad.
This is a rookie move. And honestly, you're showing some accountability, so I'm going to let you figure it out. We'll see what you look like next week before I really get in there.
That's a ground ball to the second baseman. That's an error to start the ball game on. You got to make that kind of play. That's on me.
Okay. You got to make that play, but it's a 9-inning ball game. And we got 9 innings of Ferrari talk potentially here. I don't know how much we'll get into it because we got U20s, U23s coming up. We got some questions, a lot of portal action.
Portal power.
But Angelo Ferrari.
I love the U20s. I'm so excited. It's such a great tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. And Bo Bassett throwing his hat in the ring. And speaking of throwing hats.
I missed him. I didn't see that.
Yesterday he registered at 57.
Oh, I thought it was closed like 2 days ago.
People were registering, yesterday. Maybe even
Wait, so when is it actually closed?
I don't know if it
Who
does.
cares?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not relevant or anything.
It's not
relevant.
It's not relevant.
It is, because if we know it's closed, we know who's in the field. If it's not closed, then we don't know who could enter.
Yeah, but it's fine. Okay.
Oh my God.
Speaking of throwing hats, Angelo Ferrari going to Iowa. He threw the Penn State hat. Ben Askren, your thoughts?
So I was coaching practice at the time. I don't know. I think we could have all predicted this, right? His brother's already there. It seemed that this was going to be the choice. I guess that's a big pickup for them. Maybe the bigger pickup is the brother, but then I think the question is, how long can they stay there? Because we haven't seen the Ferrari family stay in any one place for more than, I think, 2 years over the past, say, 6 to 8. So I think that's the question. How long are they actually going to stay there, and will it work out?
That is a fair question. That is the question. You're right, because you look at it, they started at Allen, went to Blair, went to Bergen, back to Allen, Stillwater High School, Oklahoma State, Melissa, Texas, Iowa. Okay, is the next stop, the next destination for the Ferrari family. I do feel personally like you need to. I think Angelo deserves the benefit of the doubt that maybe his brothers don't get. At this point,
it's kind of a family thing. Yeah, I know nothing about Angelo. Obviously, I've heard what's been said about and what's been written about the other ones. But the fact of the matter is they have moved every 2. I mean, I think you just mentioned 6 moves there in about 7 to 8 years. So they just don't stay anywhere too long, and that's just what happens.
Yeah. For sure, that is a dynamic there. But as it stands, I think Angelo is a difference maker at 184. I don't know, or 174. That is maybe one of the questions. Where does he go? What another thing I found very interesting. 2 things. Angelo said that AJ is a quote very likely possibility for Iowa. Mm-hmm. And then more than anything, the Hawkeye Wrestling Club just putting it out there. We got our garage is filling up. I think we have room for one more, though. 3 car emojis, 3 hawk emojis. So basically saying we want AJ Ferrari. We're going after AJ Ferrari. Yeah. We expect and hope for AJ Ferrari to wrestle at Iowa. So that was almost as interesting to me because there's so much mystery about the availability or the situation of AJ. And is it a possibility that he wrestles at Iowa, maybe even next year? It seems potentially.
Yeah. Hey, so I don't even know the answers because I know Angelo. I watched him at Who's Number One, and I was really impressed with Angelo. Anthony, I mean, he hasn't competed in quite a long time. And how good do you like? Could he actually beat Patrick Kennedy? Could he beat Kobe Seabrook? Do we know these things?
I don't know. I know that Anthony said a couple things. One, he does not want a red shirt, but he'll do whatever the coaches say. He also said he could wrestle anywhere from 149 to 165. So read into that what you will.
Okay.
He also said he would like to wrestle Cody Chittum in the Iowa State duel. That was kind of how the interview concluded. So you can read it between the lines there. I don't know if he can beat Kobe. I don't know if he can beat Kennedy. And I don't know what weight he wants to go. But
well, he was 160 as a high school senior, correct?
I don't know, man. 52, 60.
All right, fine. I won't ask you no question. Christian, have I told the whole FloWrestling audience you're my expert? If I have a question that I don't know, I ask Christian Pyles, and if he doesn't know it, well, there's one other guy, Jason Bryant. If Jason Bryant doesn't know it, it really doesn't.
I mean, I could look it up. No, there's other people that would know. David Bray would know would be able to recall more quickly their high school years. I'm college first, and high school. Yes. I don't know. And plus, most of the high school weights are fake anyways. They wrestle up 3 weights, down 3 weights. It's tough to really even. I can't keep. Well,
usually you'll see them at the right weight classes at at Super 32 or at Power Rate or Iron Man, those type of places. You'll see everyone wrestling at the right weight class.
And the other thing, there's how many different high school weight classes are there now? Like where there's the different 14.
Yeah, it's getting
every
weird.
Different state's got. So it's like, you know what? I kind of gave up on even learning them all because different states. You got Michigan over here just doing whatever they want.
That's awesome. They never changed from the beginning. They were the OGs.
The OG weight classes are the best, anyways.
They really were great weights. So anyway,
that was really weird though, Christian. How this year it was like depending on where the tournament was that weekend, you would see different weight classes. That was really strange.
Yeah, it's totally bizarre. Like if the Pac-12 had different weights than the Big Ten,
that'd be so weird.
That'd be so weird.
Yeah, Anthony. So Anthony was he was 160 in high school. Didn't really wrestle much.
No,
and he was number 14 on the class of 2022 big board.
Pretty high.
Pretty good. But AJ did the same thing, right? He didn't wrestle his senior year, and then came in and won a title.
Yeah, they typically when they do compete, do well. They're not like the Jack's Forest where they go everywhere all the time and just compete. It's like it's a little more. They just don't compete as much. Simply put. So it's really interesting. The Penn State aggression, I don't know. I don't know if this is the move.
I love it.
He loves it. I just don't know. I don't know it to be wise. I think it should be the goal, right? If you're an Iowa Hawkeye, your goal's got to be to beat Penn State. But, I don't know if it's the move. Because Gabe Arnold, he kind of barbed at Starachi after the Penn State Iowa duel. Now you got Angelo. He's throwing the hat. I don't know. Did you for a second think, oh man, maybe he's gonna do the big?
Not even for a second.
Yeah, me either. He didn't fool us.
Not even for a second.
And it was cool though. Bray's not back yet, but he says there's like 100 Ferraris. Like the whole family was there. It says a huge crew.
There's that many?
There's a lot of Ferraris.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Said one of them owns like a pizzeria and it was delicious.
In Iowa City?
Yeah. No. In Melissa, Texas.
Oh, got it.
Iowa City.
Right.
Guys, where's Melissa, Texas in relation to Dallas? Anybody know?
Got to be close.
North?
Something for sure.
North. It's kind of far. It's actually like, it would be sort of a hike to commute there.
Yeah, Dallas and Fort Worth, they're like the entire state of Iowa. They're that big.
Great place.
Oh, big Texas guy, Shane. All right.
I love Texas.
What were your thoughts, man? What was that Big Ten wrestling clip from where you said it's a freaking crazy world with the
Shane Sparks? Hold on, Shane Sparks. Let me give you an intro here. I watch Shane Sparks on Twitter just love on the Big Ten so hard. Christian, you need to find a wife that loves you like Shane Sparks loves the Big Ten. I don't know, but I don't know if anything loves the Big Ten as much as Shane
Ben,
Sparks.
Ben, are you following me on Twitter yet or not yet?
I see all your tweets, so I don't know.
Why don't you follow me on Twitter? Come on.
I see you loving the Big Ten so hard. You love them so hard.
I'm a company man. I'm like, yeah, it's the Big Ten. I love it. I love the Big Ten. I have since I was a little kid.
Oh man,
Who loves it? That's funny. It's like what little kid's like, man, my favorite.
I loved it.
My favorite collegiate
the
conference is the Big Ten.
Yep.
Dad, you got a Big Ten? Can I get a Big Ten shirt for Christmas?
I miss I miss the old days of the Big Ten, the Big Eight. I mean, back in 1983 as a little kid.
Oh, we can't change. This is too early for the show to go to the 80s. Too early.
Hey, Shane, if you behave, I have a little 80s nugget at the end of the show, but you got to be good, okay?
I'll be on my best behavior if that's promised.
He's gonna button all his buttons now. So what are the other thoughts? What are the other questions, Kozak? What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, Christian, you would ask me about that clip.
Oh yeah, that's right. I tried.
Yeah. So let me ask you. I'll tell you about this. So here's what happened. This is about 6 months ago, probably, when got to keep these guys separate. When Anthony committed to Iowa, right? That was about 6 months ago. Well, probably 5 months ago.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. It was during the wrestling season. So, anyways,
yeah,
I'm in the Big Ten digital studio, and somebody says to me, Ferrari to Iowa. And I immediately went to AJ to Iowa. Oh. And I was like blown away. Like, what? Like, what a crazy world. Like, so I got the wrong brother is what happened. So so what they do is the Big Ten puts it on there the next day. And I'm like, they got the wrong one. So I called them up the next day. I'm like, you know what? And I've never done this before, but I'm like, could you guys take that down? I go, I got the wrong brother. That's why my reaction was like that, because I was like, at the time, I'm like, AJ with his situation and not knowing what was going on. I was just kind of like, where the heck did this come from? What a crazy, I was taken aback clearly and like, what a crazy world. So they put it up there again yesterday, and that's fine, but it's not the reaction of what it's kind of being portrayed to be a little bit.
Okay, well, that makes more sense, because I was like, well, Shane, it's sort of obvious he was going to go to one of these schools.
Yeah, so this one I'm just going to let go, but I don't love it. I don't love it, but whatever.
It's weird that your favorite conference of all time is just turning it back on you, like just hanging you out to dry.
I just didn't want it to come across as like disrespectful. That was the biggest thing. Like that was my, because that's not what it was. So
yeah. All right, Kozak, thoughts
on Ferrari to Iowa?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it makes sense. I think for just all the attention that family gets, and for his brothers have gotten, I think it's just going to be magnified. So it's going to be really fascinating to watch unfold over the next few years. I know Bray talked to AJ and didn't get an interview with him. There's a real chance he could end up there, but there's also a real chance he kind of I think he's kind of made up his mind too, like he might not return to college, and so he might go that MMA route. I think that's what he said. So, I mean, if AJ goes there, then it's even magnified even more. I think my thoughts revolve more around like, what does this mean for Iowa moving forward, and just like the whole, just everything that comes with Iowa wrestling and everything that comes with the Ferraris combining into this, I don't know, this storm. It's going to be, as a fan, it's going to be amazing to watch unfold. Just,
I mean, if they get all three and they get, best case scenario, and Ben kind of laid it out. Yeah, Ferraris are not anywhere for long so far. But if they got the max years of eligibility for all three of them, and it, everything went well, that is a huge get, and it's a potentially huge points at the NCAA tournament. But, that all has to be realized still. And even with those three, they're still probably looking up at Penn State. Certainly next year. Next year, probably not even worth discussing. But even the years to follow, it's going to be really difficult.
Yeah. Dang. That'd be wild. Hey, the other one, the one funny one this weekend, before we talk about all the NDSU guys, McHenry to Penn State. What is he? Is he just going to train freestyle because he's too small for college, or does he want to get in the lineup? Because that was kind of a puzzling one to me.
I think he wants to get in the lineup. I think he's seen, I don't know. He obviously did his time at Michigan and graduated from there and was ready to. I think he wanted to give it a shot at Penn State. I know that was where he always wanted to go. After once he decided to, move on from Michigan, he was like, that was where he wanted to wrestle. And he probably is like, well, Robbie has not been healthy for a couple of years. So other than that, if I beat out Gary Steen, I'm probably the starter for Penn State.
Yeah.
And, he probably thinks he can beat Robbie Howard. I don't know that he can or can't.
Yeah.
But
he was only 12-6 over the course of 5 years at Michigan, which is kind of wild. Does have a win over Jack Medley, and did go to overtime with Richie Figueroa, who we postulated may be the number one going into the season next year.
Yeah. You love postulating.
Great word.
I'm gonna try to get it in the rotation. That was an interesting one for sure. Curious to see if he can crack the lineup. A couple other did we talk about Will Feldkamp to Iowa State yet?
No, we didn't. That's a huge pickup by the Cyclones.
That's big.
That dude scraps.
Yeah, he pins a lot of fools. He's good.
Yes.
So good pickup for that. Add some juice for Iowa State. All eyes are on that. That was a big need weight for Iowa State. I don't think they're done. Iowa State, I think they're still shopping around, as it were.
Yes.
So we'll see if they can add anyone else, any other pieces.
They need 197 is what they need.
They do
right?
because
Younger's going up. That's official?
Yeah, I think so. Official.
Okay.
He tweeted it or Instagrammed it for a little bit.
Did you know Feldkamp started in early Illinois? I'm looking at his wrestle stat right now.
Yeah. Northern Illinois.
I know that.
Was he there for 4 years and then Clarion 2?
4 years, Clarion 2 years, is his 7th year. His wrestle stat looks like he just got better and better and better every year. So if he can keep that trajectory going, maybe he climbs the podium a little bit this year.
Yeah, very possible. Other recruiting news. We'll get to the movement, and then we'll get to who else is in the portal. Mitch Moore announced yesterday he's going to Rutgers.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a really big one. And Kozak had to kind of remind me about some of the accomplishments of Tag and Jamison. But Jamison to Oklahoma State, I just went back and watched his match against Cody Chittum where he beat him. He's beaten Casey Swiderski. It's going to be a really big pickup. I'm guessing Kozak theorizes he's at 41 for Oklahoma State next year.
But then because Carter Young's still 41.
He could redshirt.
I think he will. Sure, because he had
he got
surgery.
Hurt. Yeah.
And they just got who is his buddy? His buddy's the 25 Spratley. Right? Didn't he go to Oklahoma State also?
Yeah.
From Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
They were both at Minnesota together. I believe they trained at the same club in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So he's at Oklahoma State now. I think could be a potentially huge pickup for the Cowboys. They've got some depth there. If they can put it all together, is the question. Young being able to redshirt. I think this Sammy Alvarez transferred there, but I don't know what this means for him. And then 49, I guess they're going to go Jordan Williams. Is that the thought?
Possibly. Did he Did he not place at UWW? You don't have that weight class on here. You don't have on the dock. You don't have 70.
Yeah, we didn't do every
place.
Weight. We're not putting every weight.
I know it's sad because it's such a great tournament. We really need to talk about it.
Yeah, you just love it.
I love it.
Yeah. Joey Cruz to Iowa. I'm not sure.
Man, there's so much transfer news. What in the world?
It's insane. Joey Cruz, and then basically all of NDSU is in the portal. I mean, Franek, Caliendo, D'Anthony Parker, Owen Pence, all in the portal. Which, man, I would not have anticipated, given they named Obi the head coach almost immediately. But it could be a situation where, obviously these guys can go in the portal and not transfer. And
Yes.
if you go in the portal and, hey, you get some offers that are compelling or better than what you have, then, I understand. And you can anticipate guys like Franek and Caliendo especially are going to be courted, especially Caliendo after the season he had, but surely Franek as well.
Damn, how many pickups does Iowa have so far? Because Cruz and then they got Voinovich also. Mm-hmm. Man, if you were Iowa, why wouldn't you throw big money at Franek? He's going to be a top 3 guy for sure going into the next year. 57.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
He's number
Franek's
2 right
tough.
now.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Jordan Williams didn't place at the U.S. Open. He lost to Panera Johnson 5-0, and then Jackson Arrington 4-4. So fine losses.
Not bad.
No real notable wins though.
Yeah. So no, Franek would help Iowa for sure at 157, and then I like Parker too. I think he's got some potential. I don't know how much you guys have watched
Anthony
him.
Parker.
Yes.
Yeah, he was kind of good in high school, and he's had like a decent 2 years, but he hasn't really turned the corner where he's beating better guys. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pence is interesting too. I mean, because he's so crazy on top.
Pence be a good one. He's got only have 1 year left, right?
Yeah. Cannot have much more than that.
Who did he pin last year?
Laird.
Yeah.
At the scuffle.
I feel like he always pins someone kind of good.
Eric Schultz.
Yes.
That was a crazy one.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of portal action happening. And Ben asked a good question. The question you may have also is like, hey, how are all these kids entering the portal after the deadline? Well, if your coach leaves, you have 30 days after that to enter the portal, which I think is a good and appropriate rule. I actually don't know why there is even a restriction on when you can enter the portal, but fine.
Yeah.
I think there's like scholarship stuff tied to it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's 8:53. Why don't we get into some U20 chat before questions? Any other thoughts on the portal, guys? Before we transition that. Portal,
No, I mean those the North Dakota State guys they're really difference makers, and I think Caliendo is probably the biggest difference maker because he's got 3 years of eligibility left. Mm-hmm. We didn't really mention him. Franek and Pence I think have 1. Caliendo's got 3 left. He had a really good freshman year.
He's a beast. Man, where should he go? Who needs him?
I don't know. A lot of people. Anyone who didn't have someone finish above 7th place at the NCAAs last year, that weight class.
How reductive, Ben.
So smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
don't know, Illinois, Iowa, someone like that. I mean, Iowa doesn't need him, but he did do better than Patrick Kennedy.
Yes, he did.
The Big Ten doors are open, guys. There's still room in the garage for more guys in the Big Ten.
Yeah, the other conferences develop them, and then the Big Ten steals them. That's the Shane Sparks model. I guess they do some decent development there at the Big Ten. Okay, let's go. Kozak, why don't you kind of drive here for the U20 chatter?
Yeah, I mean, I put in the doc there. People listening at home can't see it, but kind of all the best weights. 57 is really fun with Luke Lillidahl sitting out to the finals and Bo Bassett being like a late entry. He's only 17, didn't make the U17 team, but he did beat Lillidahl a few months ago. I think it was at Elite 8 duels. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Jory Volk in there also. So that's a really fun weight. 65 though is.
Hold on. Can we pontificate on that one a little bit?
Yeah. What do you want to talk about, Ben?
Well, the one thing I think Bo Bassett will benefit from, it appears to me he'll benefit from, is the U17 matches are only 4 minutes. It's 2-minute periods. Mm-hmm. And he seems to want to use the gas tank as one of his main weapons. So I think that's going to be an asset to him here. He's obviously beaten Lillidahl before, who's sitting on the finals, but he does have to wrestle the mini tournament going in, which, you got Jory Volk, who was world silver last year, maybe. And you got there's some other tough college guys that you do not have listed. He was the one that started and was ranked this year, but I was going to try to find the full list because you guys had it on Flow the other day. But yeah, there's some really tough guys who have to go through that field.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I mean, Bassett's obviously compelling just generally, but excited to see what he can do at 57. Trying to do the Spencer Lee, not make the cadet team and then make the junior team. But this won't be at 50 kilograms. It's up at 57.
He did have a pretty good match at the PNL with Adrian Meza. I was arguing with the high school kid, and I couldn't find the result because they did it as an exhibition. I swear it was either 8-6 or 8-4, but he thought Bassett scored some points at the end of the match to make it a little wider. But it was a pretty competitive match. Him and Jax Forrester were supposed to wrestle in the finals, and they did the thing where they both beat a kid from a different team in the semis, and they didn't want to wrestle each other, so they wrestled the other kid from the other team from the semis. And so I couldn't find the result because it was an exhibition.
Other relevant 57, Spencer Moore, UNC. He's a former cadet world teamer.
Spratley.
Jory Volk, we mentioned Nicolar Rivera, of course, and Troy Spratley, also a beast.
That weight's kind of deep. It's kind of a big bracket. I mean, that's one of those things where we talk about, and the 61 is a little bit smaller of a bracket when we talk about Aiden Valencia, but man, if you get a big bracket, you're gonna have 4 matches that day prior to the best 2 or 3 finals. And I know these dudes are tough, but 6 matches in a day, especially if they're hard ones, that can kind of wear on you. You know, what if you go to 3, then it's 7 matches.
Yeah, and these brackets are, they're not huge, but everyone in them is really competitive. You're not gonna walk through any of these guys early.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a bunch of bums in there.
All right, what was the next one you were talking about?
Well, I was going to mention 65, but I think 61 is worth talking about because Ben mentioned Aiden Valencia, who seems to do better against college wrestlers and senior level wrestlers than maybe he does against high school wrestlers.
Yeah, that's
sometimes.
kind of interesting.
He's coming off a win against Joe Colon at World Team Trials, who I believe he teched. And then you got Bouzakis in there, and Kel Peterson wrestled Bouzakis really tough. Also,
he was kind of coming towards the end there.
Yeah. So
Kyler Larkin's in there.
So it's a smaller
Gary's
weight.
Tough.
Yeah. What'd you call him?
Yes, Gary, isn't that his name?
I think it's
Isagara.
Yeah. But
My bad.
I've heard it both ways now.
Ben's like, Emilio Yes Gary.
Yeah.
His name's Yes Gary.
You guys bullied me this morning.
Yeah. No, Cal Hughes is in there also. Oklahoma State commit. So 61 is going to be good, but 65 is really deep. With you got Tyler Kasich sitting out, but then you got Jesse Mendez, Ryder Block, Cannon Webster, Brandon Cannon, Pearson Manville, Vince Cornella, Dylan Chappell almost beat Mendez at the U.S. Open. So, 65 is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a crazy weight. Man, you really see the benefits of sitting out. I mean, this is where it's really obviously sitting out to Final X is a big deal, but it's kind of all square once you make it to Final X.
Yeah,
this is like the old school 2017 World Team Trials situation where you got to do the whole bracket and then you got a beast waiting for you at the end of the line that day.
Same day. You don't even get a day off.
No day is off.
Yeah, guys, where is this tournament being wrestled? Where is it?
Geneva, Ohio.
It's in Ohio. Okay. So who do you guys like to win 65?
It's so tough to pick against Kasich with him sitting out, and he looked really good at Vegas.
It really is. I mean, if this was the bracket straight up, I would probably lean Mendez, but with Kasich sitting out, Mendez is going to have to go through minimum 2 really tough matches, but probably who's ever in the quarters is going to be really tough also. So, it's hard. It's hard to pick against Kasich.
Remind me, who were Mendez losses in Vegas? Or lost?
Just Cannon Webster.
He lost to Webster.
Okay. Yeah, he's in the bracket. So, I'm kind of.
Who did Cornella lose to at U.S. Open? He not wrestled. He did wrestle the U.S. Open.
He lost to Kasich 4-3. Yeah, I got the bracket in front of me right now. And then let's see, did he lose on the? He lost to Cole Brooks also.
Cornella did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Mendez had really good matches with Dylan Chappell and Pearson Manville. So, I don't know. Mendez still looks a little undersized
I agree.
at 65. So
I agree.
I don't have much confidence in picking him. Yeah, Kozak looked real good at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I have a hard time picking against Kozak.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then I like 79. Gabe Arnold sitting in the finals, but you got Rocco Welsh, Josh Barr, and then Tate Piccolo, Luca Augustine, some college guys. Luca Augustine beat Josh Barr twice at the Open, but I think this way it feels like it's going to be Gabe Arnold, Rocco Welsh again.
Mm-hmm.
Really? What about, so did Tate Piccolo wrestle the Open? I'm on the bracket, so I just need to Google his name.
I think he did, but I'm
he
not
did
sure.
not.
No,
I think that he's an interesting one to throw in there because he had the most collegiate success of any of these guys.
right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he can fix in there because he also has some of those unique throws and stuff. Score a bunch of points.
Yeah.
I can't believe you skipped 70. Can we go back to 70 real quick?
What do you like about 70?
Can I read you these names?
Read them.
Now, Meyer Shapiro might just torch someone, but the bracket to get there: Pinheiro Johnson, Kyle Dutton, Fargo Champ, Bo Mantanona, Jackson Arrington, Ethan Styles, Antrell Taylor, who looked great at the Open, Ryder Downey, Jordan Williams, Ty Whalen, Daniel Cardenas, 6 seed NCAAs, Jude Swisher, Caleb Larkin, and the last guy I actually don't know, Matt Sarb. I don't know him, but those other dudes, I mean, I read Fargo Champs, guys who were seated at the NCAAs really highly. Man, that's such a tough weight class.
I wish Shapiro wasn't sitting out because I just want to watch him wrestle another tournament. He is.
For real, right?
Have you watched much of him yet, Shane?
Just clips on Flow when he
doesn't
wrestles.
like him. Not
Yeah.
in the Big Ten.
You're gonna wish you're like, man, wish they got him in the Big Ten. Then he could truly reach his potential.
Guys, is it crazy here that you're kind of counting everyone out and you have 2 guys who were seated top 6 at the NCAA tournament and you're like, nah, next topic?
I just think Shapiro's just that guy.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be that guy next year at NCAA. Like, if he wrestled at NCAAs this year in some, simulation, I was like, yeah, he probably would have placed. Based on everything. I mean, listen, the things I've heard about, what he's doing in that room, how he's going with guys, he's next level. He's next level. I think he's gonna be contending. I'm so curious to see what weight he goes next year, collegiately.
49 or 57.
Yeah. Because I think they would prefer him at 49. I think he's big. I think 57 is probably where his body makes a little more sense. But lineup wise, it'll be an interesting decision because it will wherever he goes, it's going to shift that weight tremendously. He's going to have a huge impact on whoever wins that weight.
Hey, shout out Riddle and Mulvaney, the AWA guys at 79. But the other guy you guys didn't mention at 79, who I think is really good, maybe because he didn't have a great collegiate season, was Matt Singleton. But he placed pretty highly last year.
Yes.
I want to say didn't he take 3rd or 4th last year?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think it was pretty high, so he could potentially do some damage also.
Yeah, so 79 is definitely tough. Welsh Bar is fun. I still think Arnold will be tough to defeat if you get there.
Yes.
Although he lost. Was the final against Barr? Or was that it was Welsh?
No, it's Welsh and Riddle Welsh and Arnold wrestled in the final.
He almost took him down at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
What was the scoring sequence? Was it 2 cautions or was there a takedown? I'm blanking. I remember watching.
It was just a step out. I think it was just a late step out that was almost a takedown, and the takedown would have won it for him. It was 3-2 final for Arnold.
Verbal passivity. There's no push outs here. These are all passive. How is it possible that many points are scored on passivities?
Man, I wouldn't go too much by what the score thing is. You should probably.
Oh, I think it might be. I think maybe it was 2-2 on double passivities, and then Welsh thought he had a push out and challenged, and Arnold got the point because Arnold would have been winning because he had the last verbal.
Yeah,
or the last passivity.
That's not my recollection of it, but we don't have to.
Okay.
I really just remember him being in deep on a score late. and just not quite finishing it.
I'm gonna look it up.
I'm gonna look it up quicker.
Also, I'm already on the match. I'm also interested to see how Coy Hopke does at heavyweight. Wisconsin guy.
Yeah, that's why I put that one in there. Yeah.
Fortunately, not an AWA guy. I wish he was, but he's too far away. But it'd be interesting to see how he does.
It's 3-1 Welsh or Arnold late. And then Welsh gets in on a high crotch and is running his feet and almost takes him down. He just gets to step out.
Man, what's up with the thing then? It says 1, 1, 1, 1. There's no 2s on here.
Well, I'm not saying he got a 2. I'm saying he almost got the takedown.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Ben, does Hopke ever just come to your place for a few days?
No, because we don't really let anyone do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
No, we don't allow any drop-ins. Just because we think it disrupts the flow of practice. I don't know. Listen, if Coy Hopke called me and said, "Can I come down and train with Sinclair for a little bit?" Maybe I would probably say yes. But just as our general rule, we don't allow it. We don't allow any drop-ins because drop-ins disrupt the flow of practice. You know, I know a lot of coaches use these because I think it adds flexibility or whatever. But it also to my opinion, incentivizes guys not to show up. I mean, if your membership is $150 a month and you do $25 for a drop-in, and a kid chooses to do drop-ins, you're like, well, if I do 7, then I'm paying more than the month fee, so I can't go to 7 practices. I should only go to 4. It's like incentivizing the wrong behavior, right? So no, we don't do that, and it also incentivizes the kids don't show up. Then they show up for that one practice, and they're like, well, what about this and what about that? And they're trying to take all your time when they're not your most dedicated members. It incentivizes bad behavior.
Yeah. Don't let Coy Hopke misbehave. Can he do it?
So
Can he beat Christian Carroll?
I'm interested because he kind of killed and kind of didn't kill at the same time. It was an interesting match. I think we talked about Navarro Shunky at the folk style nationals. So it'd be interesting to see how he does. I think the other guy, Nathan Taylor, is interesting in here also. He's pretty scrappy. Interesting to see how, because they'll wrestle before that.
Right. Yeah, Carroll's sitting out in the finals. Yeah, I'm really interested to see Hopke because he's a first year junior, year U21 Cadet Worlds last year. Just committed to Minnesota. So yeah, the question is how good is he? And talking to Bray, like his thoughts is if he wins this weekend, that he's gonna make him like number 1 on the big board. Because the landscape of heavyweight kind of moving forward after this class graduates, like you think about how deep heavyweight has been over the last 4 years, it kind of thins out, right? And so if you look at Hopke going in, you think, man, this guy's gonna be a 4-time All-American. He's gonna contend for national titles like almost right away with just looking at the landscape if he's really that good.
Yeah, his timing is good, no doubt.
Yeah, he can move for a heavyweight for sure. Yeah, that's a huge match. It'll be a great weekend to wrestle. We got U23s as well. What sticks out to you there, Kozak?
U23s. I like 74 a lot. So, I mean, 65, 70, 74, 79, I think are the deepest weight classes. I'm interested to see, like, Ohio State kind of registered a little bit late, but Carson Hartzler up at 79 against Dustin Plott. I feel like Hartzler is the best guy in that field. So I'm interested to see him.
Yeah, I want to see him up too, right? He's going 174 next year. How's he feel out? Does he have a little more pop? He's great at freestyle. He's got an excellent gut wrench. Yeah, I think he's the favorite here as well.
Yeah, 74 is fun. Julian Ramirez, Bubba Wilson, who had a really good end of his year. Vinny Zerbin, Cal Swenson, Patty Gallagher, Derek Kilcher.
Peyton Hall's winning this.
Peyton Hall.
And he did not look good that year. I don't know if it was injured or what it was, but he
looked so great. He looked terrible, in fact, I would say.
So why do you believe he's going to win?
No, he won't be terrible. He just simply he will choose to not be terrible in this tournament. I don't know. I mean, I think Ramirez is probably the class here, but he pinned Julian Ramirez this year.
There you go. Yeah. And then 65 probably has the most All-Americans in this field with Brock Hardy, CJ Composto, Cole Matthews, and then you add on Ryan Jack
Yeah.
in there. Makes it a fun weight.
Excited to see Composto again after, being a surprise AA 2 years ago for Penn and then not redshirting, whatever they call it, the Ivy shirt thing for a year. Now he'll be back in the mix for Penn next year. Exciting. Cole Matthews, I feel like is maybe the favorite there. He made the U23 team last year. I know he's not ranked as high as Brock, but I think freestyle, he's proven he's pretty tough there.
Pretty tricky.
Tricky. Were there any other U20 weights, Ben, that you wanted to talk about? We didn't.
I think you guys. I think 86 is really good, and you guys didn't really talk about that. I could just read the. Oh geez, read the field. 86. Oh, now I gotta scroll back up. Hold on, right here. Knocked Borden, Ryland Rogers, who I don't believe Ryland Rogers was in the U.S. Open field. McAnally, Whiting, Bates, Braden Thompson, Connor Mirasola, Bennett Berge. I don't know Garrett Wells, and he's the last one. But Bennett Berge, world silver medalist. Connor Mirasola, Fargo champ. Braden Thompson was number 1. Evan Bates was the Big Ten starter for the Northwestern Wildcats. Clayton Whiting was a previous high school number 1. Max McAnally, previous high school number 1. Ryland Rogers was a high school number 1. I mean, that's a lot of really good guys in one weight class.
Yeah, that weight is kind of filled with guys who haven't yet gotten the chance to do anything at the collegiate level yet, right? So it could be a really good preview of like 184 for years to come.
Yes,
so that's a good 100%. Point, Ben.
That's exciting. And get started what tomorrow?
Greco's
tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow through Sunday.
You gonna be there tomorrow for Greco, Ben?
No. Hold on.
Shame.
So funny.
Okay. U23s, we talked about a little bit. Any other weights stick out for you there, Ben?
No, I actually didn't look at the U23s as much. With it being an open field, you have a lot of guys who, you have a lot of guys show up, but a lot of guys aren't really all that great. U20s is a lot more fun. And the other thing with U23s is mostly exclusively college kids. And I think the most fun thing about the U20s is you have this really good mix of some of the younger college guys who've already competed at the national level, like say 70 kilograms we talked about. And then you'll have the high school guys who are really good trying to come up. It gives really good insight into, the future of those college weight classes.
Yeah, man, you're not kidding. It's a sea of names that I'm not familiar with.
It's huge. U23s is huge this year. There's like 800 wrestlers entered just in freestyle alone. And so like I split up, there's a couple different pieces of content on the site. You can look at registration by colleges, which I think is helpful. And then you can also look at like the amount of ranked wrestlers entered both at U20s and U23s. Wyatt Hendrickson, a late entry at U23s. I think
I might get a picture with the Great American Hero finally.
There you go.
Hold on, how many 125s are there? There's so many.
Yeah, Wyatt Hendrickson, Owen Treffin.
These brackets are huge, bro. I was telling you, it's like sometimes they're so deep because everyone brings their whole team.
Yeah, actually, heavyweight it's got 6 ranked guys, 6 collegiate ranked guys. So that'll be good. I mean, Wyatt should blitz this field.
How many looks like at least a 32-man bracket here at 125. How many pins? Not techs. How many pins do you think Wyatt gets?
He likes pinning people. He don't like teching. Why roll him over when you just put him flat?
I'll set it at 1.5.
Oh, give me the over.
Over?
Oh,
I'll take the over.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
1.5.
Over.
Oh, it's over for sure.
Yeah. Pins?
Give me a break.
52-man
yeah,
bracket.
he's going to pin
52.
him. Let's go.
Pins. Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'll take the under. I'll just be the hater of the year.
There's 118 guys registered at 70 kilograms.
Oh, my gosh.
These brackets are huge. It's crazy.
That's great, though.
Yeah, it's awesome. But, man, it's crazy.
I know there are that many people under 23
I know, right?
in America.
Seriously.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy how big these brackets are.
Josh Groban's in it. Oh, wait, no. Josh Bogan. Just kidding. That was the tenor. Misread there. All right, gonna be a good tournament, good weekend in Geneva. Do you want to get to some questions? This final 15.
Let's
I
do it.
promise Shane, and I don't want to be a
He's
liar.
been behaved too.
He's
But
been
not
well
too many
behaved.
Penn State questions, because there's a lot of Penn State questions. So only one Penn State question per show. That's it.
Okay.
Final deal.
All right. I'm not going to. Don't push. Tyler, don't put the name of this person. Don't put this tweet on the screen, but I'm going to read the tweet. I'm not going to say the name that this
Well, I'm
person
gonna go look
is.
at what the name is now. Jeez,
Yeah,
Louise.
for real.
Okay. movie review nomination.
No, we can't start with this, Christian. You can't start with this because Shane will literally take up the rest of the show on this one question.
I'm willing to do that. I'm willing.
Oh God,
I'm willing to go there. It's only 13 minutes. And I've been thinking should be the movie for sure. And I don't know if Ben's seen it. But the movie review nomination, the 80s Schwarzenegger classic Commando, action, comedy, romance, and wonderful 80s cheesy dialogue. This is Roadhouse with more firearms. It's got that
I
kind of
haven't seen
potential. You haven't seen Commando?
I don't think so.
Have you seen it?
Movie that Shane Sparks hasn't
How have I
seen?
seen it?
Man.
I haven't seen it.
Maybe I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Have you seen it, Ben?
I have not seen it. No,
That's
I'm not
it.
an 80s guy like Shane Sparks is.
That's it. We are watching. This was probably one of the
Commando.
first 3 or 4 rated R movies I saw. Of course, I saw them all with the same
Oh, so
friend.
you've seen this one? You like
I've
this one?
seen it. Oh, when you're like, in 7th grade, it's amazing. But now I don't know if I've rewatched it since then, but I must have because I remember some of the lines very vividly. And it is hilarious comedy,
Oh my
but
God.
it's not supposed to be. Let's do this. I don't know if we should set a date. Let's say after Final X. That's when we'll have
That sounds good to me.
someone came up to me at the World Team Trials and said they really liked our breakdown of
For sure.
Roadhouse and Vision Quest. So
People
think
love it.
Commando is going to be perfect. I can't believe you haven't seen it, Shane. I kind of think you don't even like the 80s, honestly.
Maybe I have. I just don't remember it. That one I don't remember.
It's the one
That
where
does not have the sting as a Revenge of the Nerds for sure.
The clip I've seen the most of this movie. I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the clips. The most memorable one is where he like breaks the guy's neck on the plane.
Yeah.
And then he puts a hat on him and is like, "Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired," or something. Yeah, it's like,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't
When you
remember.
think about dead people in the 80s for movies, Weekend at Bernie's that's one we got to get in at some point. That movie is hilarious. Weekend at Bernie's. That's classic 80s.
I haven't seen that.
Oh man, it's funny. It is so funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that was on the rails. This was okay, Ben. That was 2
Yeah, well,
minutes.
Shane hadn't seen it. In all fairness, which I'm going to take away Shane's 1980s card. If he hasn't seen this movie, he doesn't get to be the biggest fan of 1980s.
To me, it is a quintessential 80s movie. It's like Arnold, peak Arnold, height of his powers, Arnold,
man.
action star Arnold, one-liners, guns, everything. It's
I've not seen it.
all right. Well,
1985 it came out, right in the middle.
right in the middle. That's the year I was born.
I was
You were born in 85. That's fantastic. Man.
Fantastic.
right in the middle of the best decade ever in the history of America.
Smack dab. Smack dab in the middle. Okay. Brandon McWhinney.
McWhinney.
What is the sleep book that Ben Askren recommended last summer?
Man, shoes. Let me look real quick. If I see sleep book, let's see what happens. Yeah, Why We Sleep by Matt Walker. That was one of those like me where I do to you, Christian. Like, what time does this start? And you're like, just freaking look it up. Like,
yeah,
all I typed in was sleep book, and it was the first one that came up.
it must be a good one.
So Ben, give us 2 quick takeaways from that book.
Yeah, I've been curious.
Sleep
What is
is
the point of all
important.
this?
Everybody needs it. The people who say like, "Oh, I only need 4 or 6 hours a night," they're lying. There's been no scientific evidence those people can exist like that and function on a really high level. There's a strong cognitive decline with lack of sleep. Even I think it was even higher than drunk driving, I believe. Like I don't recall which level of sleep was. It was like 4 hours a night or 5 hours a night. Like your cognitive decline is higher than when you're drunk driving. And then generally there's also a correlation between people who have really low sleep levels and longevity, like in life. Like people who don't sleep a lot die early.
Mm.
Man, so what is it? 8 hours? I mean, is that the peak?
8 hours.
8 hours.
Man.
And then can you do a bunch of damage if it's more than 8?
Well, there's also a correlation with too much sleep and dying early, but they think like I believe what he said was if you're like sleeping that much, a healthy physical adult can't sleep that much. Like you just wake up. If Shane Sparks is in bed 9 hours every night, this is me. I just wake up. Like I can't stay in bed any longer. But if you're in bed that long, it means you're generally unhealthy. Like you're sick or there's something wrong with you, and that's why you're staying in bed 10 or 11 hours a night.
What about like can you make up for it? Like can you go a couple days in a row where you're like, all right, I'm gonna go like 5-6 days, but then I'm gonna like sleep more?
I don't think so. I think the answer, I don't remember for sure. I think the answer is no. And, there's a lot about like sleep cycles and circadian rhythm and, how that's like really healthy to keep the same, like go to bed within a certain range every night and wake up within a certain range every night, that type of stuff.
What if you're
the most interesting thing I remember from it, and this is probably not all that important, although I think it is funny. And I think some college coaches could take this one in. But they said anthropologically, there's like early sleepers, like they want to generally fall asleep at like 9 p.m., and then they wake up really early. And then there's later sleepers who are like, like a midnight 1 a.m. and then sleep later to like 8 or 9 a.m. And I think some people think of those people as lazy, but their anthropological answer to it was if a tribe of people all sleep for 8 hours, they're vulnerable to attack for 8 hours. But if you have 2 shifts, then you cut your vulnerability down by half, right? Because if one group sleeps from 9 to 1 and one group sleeps from 1 to 9, then you're only 9 to 5 a.m. You're only vulnerable from 1 to 5 a.m., which cuts your time in half. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if I'm staying up later than my wife, it's because I'm protecting the household.
Well, they said that's the anthropological reason why they think people developed like into 2 certain categories. But I find that to be funny because, I think there's a lot of people who are early sleepers who judge the late people. Like I'm definitely a late person. Like if, when I have to wake up for my kids now, like 7:30, like I would prior to kids, I was absolutely a like midnight to 8 a.m. or 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I was highly functional. Like I my brain starts firing the best at night. I'd come home from practice and I can get a lot of stuff done.
Man.
Yeah.
I was so the opposite. I've actually noticed it's changed for me a lot. Everyone used to make fun of me. I was literally in bed at 9 o'clock as, probably 5-6 years ago, like every night. Now I can stay up longer and sleep less and feel pretty good, which is kind of strange. What if you work at like hypothetically at like the rowdiest, bar in all of Missouri, and you're up all night?
The Double Deuce. What if you're working at the Double Deuce?
If you're up all night, cleaning up tables and beating up guys, and someone's got a knife left boot. What about them? Is it okay if you're sleeping during the day? Does that matter?
I'm pretty sure they said that's really bad for you, actually.
To be a bouncer at the Double Deuce, that's not good.
That's sleep pattern.
I mean, people that work for like decades, third shift. I mean, that blows. Have you guys ever have a third shift?
I think it's really bad for them.
I work third shift a lot, and it's horrible.
It's horrible. Third shift.
FloWrestling's got a third shift?
No. I actually had some jobs before this that were third shift. I work, and you end up making the sleep is the biggest compromise you make, obviously. But then like you don't want to miss anything during the day, so I was I was like going to school, and then I was like working third shift, and then like I would not want to miss like one of my brother's matches or a race, so you just end up sleeping like 3 or 4 hours. You just feel terrible. Then I worked at a mental hospital third shift too, and that was.
I know a guy that's worked third shift about 30 years, and I don't know how in the heck he does. Like, it just blows my mind how you could do it for that long. Because
I think one of the things they said about lack of sleep was like, once you get used to your new normal, it doesn't feel like you're any worse, like on a regular basis. But if you took like you slept really well and you took your cognitive levels, and then you sleep like 4 or 6 hours a night, and then you do it, it's like a significant drop. Like
Oh.
they can measure it, but then once you've been doing it for a while, you don't notice how bad you are compared to what you would be if you'd been adequately rested.
And the
Yeah.
thing with third shift is, I mean, a lot of those guys, I mean, let's say it's a 5-day work week. It's not like their sleep is the same for for the most part, I sleep the same 7 days a week for the most part.
Yeah.
Third shift, it's like, yeah, you get done at, Friday morning. So then you don't want to miss anything. So you stay up. And I mean, that is just, that's crazy. That is a tough schedule.
Yeah, my aunt was a third shift nurse. Bray's wife works third shift. You got to be #built different to do it. Yeah, I was never stupider, I think, than when I worked third shift and trying to go to school. I've had some low GPAs in my time, but that had to be up there collegiately. I was a bad student, but it was really bad at that point. But there's other stuff going on too. So yeah, sleep's important. So read that book. I already forgot what it's called, but you can rewind.
Why We Sleep. Matt
Why
Walker.
We Sleep. Okay. A question from TJ Foster. Who told you that, Ben?
I didn't see that in the doc.
It's right
How did
there
I miss that?
from TJ.
Oh my gosh, how did I miss that?
Who told you that? Oh man.
Oh, such a great line.
So there was a Penn State question Ben is allowing.
What is this one? The crosshairs one. I don't understand exactly what they're saying here.
So crosshairs, it's just, I pasted them sort of out of order of the tweets. Scroll down 2 tweets.
Oh, is that so? Oh, that's the same guy. Okay, I got it.
So he says Penn State over under 6.5 NCAA champs next year, which is insane under to start that. But then he goes, not likely at all, but not as outrageous as it sounds, says the same guy. He says likely. Haynes, Starachi, Brooks, Kirkfleet, which if Haynes goes up to 65, not likely. Potential stretch even if he goes 65 because of Keegan and David Carr. Potential Nagao, Truax, Van Ness, and everyone's putting Nagao at this strata, but it's like, man, Vito Arujau exists, and he's
and Dayton.
He looks
That's what I thought when I saw that.
He lost to Dayton last year, and it's like, yeah, you can apply the Penn State bump all you want, but this guy got a lot better at Minnesota and was looking really good, and the jumps, he's gonna have to jump to a level that Roman could not reach last year against Vito. So now he's got this mat thing. I think it's really interesting because
he's so good on top.
He's so otherworldly on top. It's like it's almost good that it's a different sort of skill set and threat for Vito. It's not you're not trying to match him speed for speed, strike for strike, skill for skill on top. It's or on neutral. It's like, I mean, if you can get on top, or if you can even force Vito to take neutral, and you get away, that can.
How much of that is moving forward? Now guys know about it to where like at the end of last year it was like, whoa, where did this come from?
That's a thing.
But I think it's so hard for them to. The way his legs bend and move because of his jiu-jitsu background is something that they're gonna have a hard time getting a similar feel for in the room until they're out on the mat with him. So I think it's gonna be hard to adjust to.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess my point is like now do guys just say, all right, we're going neutral. You know, they don't even entertain
I would
because that's what Jesse Mendez did. He went down, and he got ridden out. RBY, he went down and got ridden out. So now moving forward, it's like, all right, this guy is really good on top. We're not gonna mess with him.
And even that's a swing though too, right? If they're just seeding that point, that the free point. I mean, they're literally not taking a free point, guys. It's just unreal.
Yeah.
But so I think that's big. But yeah, Nagao is a stretch, not a potential champion to me. That'd be a stretch.
Yeah.
Truax is potential. Van Ness, we're gonna see how 49 shakes out. Who ends up at 149? But yeah, I think he has the potential. And then stretch NCAA champions Mitchell Messenbrink and Bo Bartlett. I would agree, especially if depends what Alirez does. If Alirez stays at
what could Alirez would go up potentially?
If he could Olympic redshirt. So if he Olympics, then we'll see. Bo could maybe beat Real Woods, but he is 0-2 against him. But yeah, I mean, I would put him in the potential. I think Bo Bartlett's got as much potential to win NCAAs as Aaron Nagao.
Oh, yeah. I mean, depending on Alirez. Depending on Alirez. I think if Alirez is in there, that's a tough one to beat.
Mitchell is so tough because, man, could he win 157 next year? I don't know.
I think it's possible.
That assumes Haynes going up. Obviously, they're on the same team now. He may have a better chance than a Nagao and Bartlett as well. But dude, the thing is, man, I need to see him in some folk style action.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. I wish he had done like some freaking opens, some folk style.
We did like 4 matches maybe or something like that.
What did he do?
Let me look. Maybe it was 2. It was a couple, and then he wrestled at the NYC thing.
Yeah,
he wrestled 2. He pinned some guy, and then he pinned a guy from Cal Poly.
Yeah, exactly. Omar Rosas and Daniel Vizcarra. What are we to make of this?
I have no
nothing.
Idea.
There's nothing to be learned. Oh, it's time to go. We have to leave.
Ben, is Mitchell in down by you, or is he at Penn State?
Yeah, he's still here. I think
Okay.
I don't know at what point this summer he's going to Penn State. I'm not certain.
Cool.
Tell John I said hi.
You got it.
God, he's the best.
Tell Ozzy I said hi.
I'll do that too.
Okay, well, we're gonna go. Hey, action gets started tomorrow. U20, U23 Greco. All you Greco enthusiasts out there, Ben. Freestyle going down Saturday and Sunday, live from Geneva, Ohio. All matches live and archived on FloWrestling. We'll have a whole crew there in Geneva on the scene. And we're just
is that where JD Rader's going to be? Is that why he didn't show up for work today?
James Dean Rader is en route. I think
Spay
Klingman? Kyle Klingman.
Spay blogging, the best blogger in wrestling.
The blog father.
Yeah.
Certainly so. Have a great weekend. Watch some wrestling. We'll be back Monday and Wednesday next week because it's Final X week. And Thursday, we're all flying to Newark. So we will see you then. See you Monday. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.
Yeah.